Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic week of Formula One racing here on SLR. We pride ourselves on delivering top on-track action such as overtakes.
Oh, Danny on the inside, sorry, Danny on the inside.
And of course, where would we be without some crashes and drama?
Pace around this track.
Oh, and spinning is Canopus. That's his microlander up the inside. No, Danny.
And lots more. What started out as a fun idea quickly developed and grew into one of the most influential and recognizable online F1 leagues across the F1 platform. Every new season saw more and more big names join the roster, all battling harder and harder to claim the coveted SLR title. This season will be like no other before it, the strongest lineup we have ever seen. Old champions rejoining to battle the new top dogs of SLR. All of the tiers in SLR are fielding their respective strongest to date, with much to fight for and achieve. But if you have come to witness Titans battle Titans, well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Tier 1.
Alright, good evening everybody and welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is round 5 of the season for the VOR iRacing IndyCar Euro Series. We are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard, for 200 miles of racing. Later on tonight we've got 300 miles of racing ahead in the main series, so together it will be a 500 mile race for some of the drivers. But we are here for round 5 of the season. Last season this race was very eventful with a lot of cautions involved too, but overall the racing was excellent, so expecting more or less the same product here today. Quickly looking at the championship standings going into this race, Oscar Fredriksson has a healthy lead over Matt Houston. 52 points separate the two drivers. 55 points back from the leader is Sven Merckx for the Platinum Racing Team Blue. Then looking at the team's championship standings, whilst you guys can look over the other top 10. The team's championship standings, Velocity Online Racing at the front after a 1-2 last week at the road course of Indianapolis. 12 points ahead of Team Racefirst with Sunset Arctic Games. SLR Gaminier sits in the 3rd position, 19 points back. 27 back is Platinum Racing Team Blue, and Team Watson Racing rounds off the top 5 with Sepp Kinder as their only driver, 124 points behind. Looking at the track map, whilst cars are out on qualifying, which you are hearing in the background, you can see a 2.5 mile super speedway banked at 9.2 degrees in the turns, 4 turns in total, and of course it is known and home of the Indianapolis 500 in real life. Looking at the schedule, tonight the Indianapolis Oval. Next week we go to Road Atlanta, which will be an evening race with 0x sun movement at 8:45 p.m. sim time, so we will be racing under the lights almost. And then we got a week off until we return to Watkins Glen and the second and final oval of the season at Auto Club Speedway. So, that covers all your pre-race stuff. It's time to dive into qualifying now, with cars are out on track as well. So let's bring up the overlays. There you go. So 2 minutes left in qualifying. Matt Houston on the pole position at the moment. 500ths ahead of Hugo Akesson. Oscar Fredriksson in the 3rd position. Not in the exact same order, but this is the championship top 3 as well. Thomas Geisler moves to P4. Sven Merckx goes into P12. Let's actually bring up the lap times instead. The best lap times, there you can see them. So Pino Krijveld in the 14th position with a lap time above 40 seconds. And you want to be in the 39s at least. To maybe make up some positions. You've got 2 laps to set your best lap time possible. Later on tonight in the main series though, it will be a 4-lap average, as is traditional in the Indianapolis 500. If you want to watch the main series race, by the way, tonight, that can be done on the Captain Esports network on YouTube. Chris Scala does those broadcasts. So make sure to tune in about 5 hours from now, in the middle of the night for the European side of things. But it is going to be a great race, and this race is kind of a teaser race, let's say, for that. Same setup, same everything, just a little bit longer tonight, and therefore shorter here. Key thing to note, by the way, if you look at on the right hand side of your screens, the air temperature 26 degrees Celsius, and then the track temperature all the way at the bottom 52 degrees. That is very hot, to say the least. The drivers will be feeling the aero push for sure. Sorry, not the aero push, that's later on in the race with dirty air. Will be feeling the front push away from you. The car wants to understeer into the wall, as some of you guys might know it as. But yeah, what I was saying, the aero push will be key for the race here as well, which we will be covering in just a second. If you're behind the car in front, the front downforce gets very little from what it already is. So it will be difficult to get through the corners, but these drivers will manage. Probably. Let me just quickly make a correction on the screen. There you go. And the lap count as well. Didn't really get the chance to prepare that yet. But here we go. Cars on the front straight. Gridding up to get ready here for 200 miles of racing, 80 laps. Is the race distance. Again, please let me know if the audio levels are correct. When I go racing myself, I bump the audio all the way up to the maximum audio levels again, so I can concentrate on the race. For broadcasting though, that is of course not very ideal. So quickly covering the starting grid before we get going here. Matt Houston and Hugo Akesson on the front row. Matt Houston being known as a qualifying specialist here at Indy. He's got a few poles in the main series already too. Oscar Fredriksson and Thomas Geisler on row 2. Also 2 very experienced and skilled oval drivers. Also at the IMS oval. Joseph Rajalva with a very nice result in P5 for qualifying. Lewis Woodall P6. Row 4, Sepp Kinder and Patrick Silvassi, who makes his return after missing last week's race. Thomas Jensen and Matthias Strauss on row 5. Tara Majid, the winner at Spa, with Matthew Green on row 6. Row 7, Sven Merckx and Pino Krijveld. And row 8, Bart Verstein and Daniel Cofield. As the cars are rolling now. So let's take a quick look at the race keys. You can see the race distance, 80 laps, 200 miles. That's why it's the Indianapolis 200 in this VOR IndyCar Euro Series. Fuel window, 28 to 32 laps, depending on how much you can save behind other cars, or even how much you are leading in that little group of cars that will be led by Matt Houston to the green flag. Pit strategy, at least 2 pit stops. That might be 3 or more, depending on the cautions. Aero push, the cars will be looking for clean air to drive around these turns with. Again, 9.2 degrees of banking, not much to support, so it's all downforce dependent in these cars. And as you know and can see, with these tiny wings, the downforce levels aren't very high. So the iRacing penalty system will be 14x, so incident points, that will be an instant disqualification by the sim, and you don't score any points. The last winner here, Gavin Sanders last season, in Season 2. He won in that eventful race where Max Jansen was also racing in, and he battled with the likes of Lewis Woodall, Gavin Sanderson, Oscar Fredrickson, all the VOR boys really, for the race win. But it was eventually Gavin that came out on top. So getting ready to go here for 80 laps at the Brickyard. Got Lily and chat already. Welcome to you and the other 2 viewers at the moment. Hopefully that will be a little bit more later on. But pace car gonna pull into the pits. Matt Houston and Hugo Ackerson on the front row. Gonna lead us to the green flag. And Barney is taking a little while.
Green flag.
There you go. Green flag is out. Matt Houston hits the throttle pedal across the out of brakes for the first time to start this race. As I see Lewis Woodall on the outside making moves already. Moving himself up into P4. Hugo Ackerson going to the outside of Matt Houston now. And I'm not sure if there was contact or not, but Hugo moving away from Matt's car there. And Matt did lose some momentum there, so Hugo Ackerson gets by into the lead. Matt Houston's teammate Thomas Geisler going to move up into P2 as well on the outside line. With Oscar Fredrickson slotting into P4. Joseph Rajalfa going down the inside now. Moving himself up into P4. Driving for the GP Evolution team in the main series. As everybody is snaking already trying to break the draft. But Hugo Ackerson leads at the end of lap 1. As we bring up the gaps here between the drivers. Joseph Rajalfa dropping back a little bit there, so he might have pushed up the track. As Oscar Fredrickson and Lewis Woodall, the 2 VOR cars, are trying to get by him there. As Sepp Kinder defends the inside from Thomas Jensen as well. Battle for P7. As Sven Merckx gets by Matthias Strauss in the background too. So Lewis Woodall and Oscar Fredrickson will be trying to work together in this opening stage of this race. It's a little bit shorter than they are used to, 200 miles instead of 300. But still, having patience is going to be very important here today. As the popular racing saying goes, to finish first, you first have to finish. So they're going to be working together to get themselves up at the front. And within a chance to win this race maybe at the end. As I see a car pulling into the pits there, that is Pino Krajeveld. There he is. Don't really see any damage on the side of his car, so let's get a bit of a different angle here, see if we can find it. I really don't see anything, so that's a bit strange. Anyways, going back into the race. Looking from the front wing of Bart Fernestein, currently running in last place. You can see everybody going into turn 3 right now. And this track is very draft dependent. Drafting is basically the car in front of you pushing a hole in the air, which therefore causes less air disturbance for the car behind to make a move, but then when you go into the turns that becomes known as aero push, as the car wants to push up the track. Very easy to pick up some of that. So everybody will be looking for some clean air on the front wing to make their way around the corners here at Indianapolis. So 5 laps in the book already, and pretty much 0 incidents. Pino Krajeveld, the only car a lap down at the moment, in 16th place, as Patrick Silvassi gets by Thomas Jensen for P9, that was. So Patrick missed last week's race, and he instantly dropped down 4 or 5 positions on the driver standings. So he will be looking for a good result here today to make up for that no-show. Driver from Hungary. course, he got a podium at Kentucky at the final race of last season, which was his first oval podium, and in that race he questioned me in the interview room. Yes, I got questioned if I was doing an American or a European interview. Well, he got the American one in the end, as there's a car up in the wall. That was Sven Merckx, I do believe. But yeah, Patrick and I were joking about that a little bit after the race. As Matthias Strauss makes a move on Sven Merckx down the inside there. Matthias has been running a special Indianapolis Motor Speedway team livery last week and this week as well. Let's see if we can get a nice close angle of that. There he is, you can see the wings on the side pods. And of course in the typical IMS colors. The red brownish. Not really sure what the color is called, but you got the white as well. And a little bit of brown, which is the majority of the livery. Looks great. Chevy branding on the car as well, so he's driving a Chevy in this race. They need to add that to iRacing, by the way, proper engine manufacturers for the IndyCar. Biggest mover at the moment in the race, Tarun Majid, winner at Spa, doing his first oval in this league, and doing very well so far. You could clearly see him looking for the clean air, and he's actually a second behind Sepp Kinder, and he's already feeling those effects. As we have a battle for the lead as well, going into turn 4 here. Hugo Akkerson on the inside, Thomas Geisler on the outside. Going into turn 1, Hugo on the inside still. And Thomas gets the momentum on the high side there. As he slots back in behind Hugo to pick up the draft. To try and gain some speed on him. And he pulls to the outside again. Gonna try to make a move on the outside here into turn 3. It's gonna be difficult for the outside car to pull off the pass. As the inside line is very much the dominant one here. Especially early on in the stint. But what Thomas might be trying to do though is force him down to that white line, Hugo that is, to make him burn up his tyres a little bit quicker. So he can then pull by a few laps after that. Oh, smoke up ahead. As Hugo and Thomas got really close there in turns 1 and 2. But they get away with it. And Matt Houston having a front row seat at this battle. Off-screen, Sven Merckx got passed by a lot of cars, as he's gonna lap down now as well. Maybe some damage. I'm not sure if there was an incident or not. I didn't see anything. Maybe on the event notes. Ah, yes, there it is. So I'll show that in just a second. But 12 laps into this thing, approaching the halfway point for the first fuel stint. As Thomas pulls to the outside again, but still isn't able to make the pass work yet. Now the IndyCar at Indianapolis used to be very challenging with the old tire model. And before they made some changes to the track surface. Ooh, I thought I saw Hugo slide up a little bit there, but they get away with it once again. Indianapolis with the old tire model before, I believe it was January this year. Oh my, time flies. The car, even in clean air, would struggle to make it flat out around most of the fixed setups. But now with the track surface changes and the updated tire model, it's much more realistic now in a way. But what is the unrealistic part is you're allowed to run 2 lanes at Indy, which is very much impossible in real life, only at starts and restarts really. For the virtual world it's great. here on iRacing, but it's not quite realistic. It's great to watch though, so I'm not complaining. As they once again get close. They like getting close there in turn 1. It seems. As Thomas is pushing him down more and more to the inside of the track, and I think Hugo's tires are going off slowly now. I got rid of the temperature graphic just a moment ago, but let's bring it up again. 53 degrees Celsius is the track temperature now. Nearing 2 PM sim time, so the track will be quite hot. As Hugo moves up in front of Thomas there. So Thomas is going to pick up the draft once again to try for the 6th time by now to get by on the outside line. As Hugo edges a nose ahead again into the turn. And Pino Krijveld has just gone off the track here. So I think the race has quieted down a little bit as Pino pulls it down into the pits. Let's bring up a replay from Sven Max earlier in the race. This is lap 10. On board, and yet he pushes right into the wall. So the air on the front wing got disturbed by the car in front, and once that happens, basically all the downforce gets taken away from you. And it's very easy to go into the pits. Into the wall. As we have a TV angle here. Yep, slides right into the wall, and once that happens, the car is damaged too much already to continue, and it's also going to be difficult to stop, which he found out. So he has towed to the pits to get some repairs done, and hopefully for him he can get back out on track again. As we get back into the race here, 17 laps in. Hugo and Thomas still going. Daniel Kofoed has also entered the pits twice, so he's also gonna lap down. Want to see what happened to Daniel here. Some small amounts of front wing damage on the car. Overshoots his pit stall as well. I think I saw him do that last week as well. So he is in the pits. Does he take a new front wing? I think he did, but he shuts his car off, so I think he's hit the wall. I think just prior to that. So let's see if we can find an onboard. Nope, okay, apparently not. But his steering was bent, so I'm pretty sure he hit the wall at some point. And he's now gone 2 laps down, getting some repairs done. But these two cars still going. In that battle for the race lead. It is great to watch indeed, Lily. Oh! Hugo's starting to push up in turn 1 especially, and also turn 3 a little bit. Which isn't great for him, but I think this is exactly where Thomas Geisler wants to put Hugo. In that exact situation, where the tires just go off for Hugo. And then once Thomas is close enough to make a pass, he can actually make it. You can see right there, he had a small chance to go down the inside here for turn 4. Very small chance, by the way. And he didn't take it, or even try to make it there. So I think he's just trying to make Hugo burn up his tires. But I think time's going to run out for him though, as we are approaching the first round of pit stops as well. First round of scheduled pit stops, I have to say. As we are 1/4 into this one. And Thomas is backing down now. So Thomas might be considering saving a bit of fuel to maybe go a lap longer. I just want to look at his onboard.
The yellow flag
Oh,
is out.
caution is out for the first time here today. For an incident. With Tara Majid. Ah. So let's see what happened to Torin here then. Oh, and the short shoot out of turn 3. Too much weight jacker in the car probably. Slid his car around. Just turned away from him into the wall with the rear end. And ooh, the car is bouncing quite a bit there. That's not very good for the rest of the car. Let's get a blimp angle here. Yeah. So the car loops itself around and he's lucky that nobody else hits him. Ooh, that was close with, I think, Matthias Strauss there passing by in turn 3. That one was really close. Let's see what happened with him then there. If we can find it. So Torin gets loose here, slides across the track, the car in front. I think it's Thomas Jensen, yes that is. So he goes by, and then Torin slides up the track right as Matthias goes into turn 3. So Matthias has to make a split-second decision, and he made the right one, thankfully, and gets by him. So no issues for anybody there except for Torin himself, who unfortunately, after a very good start, is going to drop down into P13 multiple laps down already. As everybody makes their way down into the pits. So of course there's only one tire compound on the ovals, which is specifically made for the IMS oval. Not that that's very relevant, but everybody will be just taking fuel. And it will be a little bit of a shorter stop with a caution on lap 22. But you'll find later on some drivers may be short fueling to jump some cars around them. And I don't think anybody really lost or made any ground in the pits. So the numbers, or the positions, sorry, still the same for everybody. Except for Bart Furstein, actually, now as I say that. He stayed out. Now what I think he will be trying to do is lead a lap and then come down into the pits to at least score that extra bonus point. I think Bart was running at or near the back anyways, so I think getting that extra point would be smart. Let's see what he does then. What he could also be doing is going to stay out and wait for the next caution. AK going off sequence, but I think he's going to come down into the pitch. Yes, he is. To maybe take that lap lead, let's see. Not from this angle. No, he's not going to lead the lap. Oh, that's a shame. So Bart coming down into the pits as the field goes by him. So Bart gonna drop back down to the back of the field. At least the line of cars that is still running. 12 cars on the lead lap. 14 still running, although multiple laps down. So of course this is the first oval of the season, it's also the most prestigious one right away. Later on in the season we are going to Auto Club Speedway, which is a little bit wider, a little bit more banking, but also a little bit shorter, so that will be another great race to watch. We will be using the same setup as we used in the VOR main series for the start of that season. And that was pretty much a pack race, so it's going to be great to watch on the broadcast. That's for the 6th of November, by the way, in about a month from now. So as mentioned at the start of the stream, next week going to Road Atlanta. which is Oscar Fredricksen's favorite track, so I'm expecting a win from him there. Nothing less. No pressure, Oscar. Now, jokes aside, the pace car gonna come into the pits, everybody lining up on the outside line, which is also, I think, on the ovals. So Hugo Ackerson back in the lead in front of Thomas Geisler, Matt Houston, Oscar Fredricksen and Lewis Wood on the top 5. Green flag is back out and we are racing once again at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Starting lap 24. As Patrick Silvassi is in a battle with Joseph Rijalfa. Patrick also sporting a special Indianapolis livery. As we have a car off the pace, that is Daniel Cofield letting everybody by. But Joseph Rijalfa back into P6. As Patrick has got Matthias Strauss behind him. On board with Thomas Geisler. Was running very well at Kentucky last season, but unfortunately made a mistake and spun himself around by, I believe, clipping the apron, putting him out of contention of that race, which was dominated by Gavin Sanders, Thomas Geisler himself here, and Oscar Fredricksen all fighting for the race win. Even Lewis Wood getting up there, I believe, in the early stages before misfortune hit him in that race. But Thomas with a huge run on Hugo. But not close enough to make a pass happen yet. Now if you listen carefully, in the turns, Thomas Geisler likes lifting off the gas for a little bit to save some fuel. There he is, lifting. Now over a full lap that won't save you much, maybe 0.1 liter a lap. But once you add it all up, it will be quite a bit, and it could be the difference of being able to go a lap longer, or 2 laps longer, versus the guy in front, which is Hugo in this case, burning up all the fuel, punching that hole in the air. Where Thomas is able to save some fuel in, and still drive at a similar speed over the entire lap. Replay for a move for position. Seb Kinder getting by Matthew Green there. That was actually Matthew in the pits there. Okay. Let's go back to that battle between Joseph Grjalfa and Patrick Silvassi then. In turns 1 and 2 here. Going on to the back straightaway. Joseph on the outside line. Patrick picking up some drafts from Daniel Cofield there, but Joseph with a lot of overspeed gets by there for P6. Another thing I would like to mention is that we hit 125 subscribers on YouTube. Thanks everybody. Hope you guys are all enjoying the broadcast and all the content that we put out. Of course, that being mainly the highlight reels that we make of the Euro Series races. Also plan on making them for the main series again. We did used to do them. So looking to get that back going as well soon. Also hit 200 Twitter followers the other day, so that's also very nice. Also thanks to everybody for doing that. If you don't follow us yet or are not subscribed yet, make sure that you do to stay up to date of all the VOR action, both main and Euro series. So 50 laps to go this time by. As Thomas pulls to the outside line now. Will he be able to complete the pass? Very nice run through turn 1 here. Let's see if he can hang on to that on the outside line. No, he is not. So they're going to go too wide again. Just like they did before, as there's a VOR car spinning to the inside line. That is Lewis Woodall dropping down positions. Hello, kind of picking up. There he is. Spun in the grass. I don't think he hit anything. So he's got to find the gear and get going again. And he's actually towed to the pits. Which is strange, because I don't think he hit the wall. So let's see what happened to him then. There it is. Gets loose out of turn 2. Let's go a little bit further back and do it ourselves. Oh, actually he did hit the wall. So pushes up just on corner exit and spins the car around. It's so easy to push up the track on corner exit. You just don't know when that error push is going to kick in sometimes. And this is the perfect example of it kicking in at the worst possible time it can happen at. So Lewis Woodall out of this race. Pretty much out of contention, I should say, for the top points paying positions. As we are on board with Hugo Akesson in the lead right now. Clear track ahead. When we look behind, there you go, that's Thomas Geisler and Matt Houston, 2 race first cars behind the Platinum Racing Team driver. Thomas closing in again on Hugo to the outside once again. And I think these guys will be doing this for a little while. Thomas with the highest overall iRating in the field here tonight. Second highest is Matt Houston's at almost 2,900 iRating. The reason I bring that up is it kind of shows their experience on the ovals. They are both very experienced. Hugo Akesson with about 1.7k iRating. Not saying he's inexperienced, but a little bit less. I know Matt Houston has been on iRacing for the best part of a decade, if not longer. He actually sent me a message the other day showing results from a 2010 race he did at Indianapolis, which was a 500-mile race, full distance. And to quote Matt, it was the worst racing league he's ever been in. So Thomas Geisler to the outside line again. And Hugo slides up in front of him in turn 1. That's very risky, but he gets away with it. Got Torsen in chat saying go Jensen. And of course we all know by now that Lily is in chat supporting Sepp Kinder. So hello to both of you and everybody else in chat. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in chat, as Hugo likes making very late moves to try and defend his race lead here at Indy. But Thomas to the outside again. And what's been the common trend all night long so far, as we are approaching the halfway point, is Thomas gains a massive amount of speed on Hugo, and he actually edges out ahead of him as well, going into the turns. But when we get to the turn, Hugo with a shorter distance is able to pull back alongside Thomas, and on corner exit right here, he's actually in front before the momentum for Thomas kicks in, and that's going on every turn and every lap. As once again Thomas gets really close to Hugo. The comparison I'm about to make is going to sound really weird, because we are racing 2 wide here and it's one wide. It's a single file at Texas, but this racing reminds me a lot of Texas. after all the traction compound stuff that's happened, which is kind of stupid, but yes, it's there in real life. Traction compound at Texas. And it's all about getting the momentum off the turn, setting up your run to go all the way down the straight, to edge out ahead going into the turn and then close the door. And that's what Thomas is trying to do here, but he's not able to do it yet, as Hugo just dives into the turn with the shorter distance. Like I was just explaining, pulling himself back by Thomas again. And when I look at the race notes, from lap 33, nothing has happened except lead changes after lead change after lead change. And you guessed it, another lead change. Whether official or not, the official lead changes are counted at the start-finish line every lap. So for example, Hugo is leading this lap, whereas Thomas led the previous lap. Let's go a little bit further down in the field. Let's have a look at Patrick Silvestri's beautiful pink-purple livery. I'm not gonna say which because I'm pretty much colorblind these days. And he's actually right behind a group of cars that are also battling for position. You see Joseph Grijalva and Oscar Fredriksson just up ahead. And I have to say, Joseph Grijalva is actually doing a really good job. Now I don't want to sound mean or anything, but I think this is the first time I've seen Joseph racing for real at the front. I know it hasn't always been easy for him, that's for sure, but doing great so far, driving in P5. Right up there with Oscar Fredriksson, who is one of the more experienced guys in the league as well. Driving clean, being fast. Know when to look for the clean air right there. I'm liking this improvement by Joseph Grijalva. Hopefully later on tonight for him, in the main series, he can keep up this momentum and do just as well. Of course I prefer if he's behind me. That I'm in front of everybody, but jokes aside, Joseph is doing a great job. Now, when Oscar's going to watch this broadcast back, I'm sure he's going to send me a message on Discord or somewhere else. Did you have to do this? Yes, I have to do this. So in Season 2 of the main series, before the Euro series was even a thing, even in the Platinum IndyCar Series days. Back in Season 2, which is actually over a year ago by now, we had a race at Indianapolis 2, which he raced against Luis Gonzalez Nunez, and Oscar was in the lead before the final round of pit stops, and he pretty much had the win in the bag, in his own words as well. But due to a mistake in the pits, he lost out on the win, and Luis Gonzalez Nunez went to victory lane that day. And I'm sure at some point tonight, that's going to be in his mind. Like, hey, I remember that race from a year ago, which I should have won but didn't. And I know that Oscar can do it. Everybody knows that he is an excellent driver on both the road courses, which has been shown already by 3 wins in 4 races. The race at Spa, where he got taken out after qualifying on pole. So who knows what that could have been, but he's got 3 wins this season. One of the more experienced guys on the ovals as well, so he has what it takes to win and dominate in a racing league like this one, which shows, by the way, because he's got a 52-point lead in the Drivers' Championship. Matt Houston in the race first machine. Probably the most experienced driver I've seen ever on iRacing. At least IndyCar wise. Now I know that Matt, who has told me that he's been out of iRacing for a few years, but he has been on this surface for a decade at least. maybe more. Like I was just saying, he's been racing on this since 2010 already. Maybe even 2009 or 2008. So he knows what he's doing. And when I first met Matt, I was actually looking up to him. I was jokingly saying Matt the Oval God Houston. And he still is that. He's very good on the ovals. Very patient, which is something that you don't really see with a lot of drivers. But Matt has that patience. He knows that especially in the first half of the race, the first 3/4 of the race, it's pointless to battle for the race lead if it is too risky. You can see him right now in P3. Driving at a comfortable, steady speed. And he is not going for it yet. He's just waiting for his time to make a move. You don't know the leaders could crash and Matt Houston could inherit the race lead. So 45 laps into this thing on lap 46. Still plenty of time for something to happen to the cars in front of Matt. So don't count them out just yet. Same can be said for Thomas Geisler. Also very experienced. Briefly talked about his iRating earlier as well. And he's one of the more aggressive drivers on the race for his team as well. Which is great to race against. But sometimes that aggression can lead to some mistakes and costing you some race wins. For example, Kentucky Season 2. The finale here in the VOR IndyCar Euro Series. Back then it was the Platinum IndyCar Series powered by VOR. But some of that aggression is great in some situations, but not so great in others. Like that one. Yeah. Lap 47 now. Hugo Ackerson still leads for the Platinum Racing Team Blue squad. That's a long sentence. Got his first pole of the season at Zandvoort, and then unfortunately made that mistake on lap 1, which allowed Oscar through and eventually led to Oscar dominating the race. But Hugo, with some nice moves, was able to recover to a podium position. And he got that podium position after a not so very nice move in the final lap. If you're just tuning into the VOR IndyCar Euro Series and haven't seen any of the previous races this season, definitely make sure to check it out and catch up on this series. A lot has happened, and it's been a very good season so far to broadcast, despite Oscar Fredriksson running away with the title at the moment. So yeah, that doesn't really show how great the racing has been in this season. Not much really happening at the moment. All the cars pretty much a second or two apart from a few exceptions where they are drafting up to the other car. But the important message here is there's not much really happening. So if anybody's got any questions, comments, or anything else to say that maybe we should know about, I don't know, feel free to put it in chat. I said it before, I'm all about the chat interaction if you guys want to interact. I'm here to talk. You guys are as much part of this broadcast as the drivers racing are, as much as SDK Gaming is for the overlays, as much as iRacing is for the service that we're racing on, if it's me broadcasting, whatever. You guys are part of this too. It's great that this race has been so clean though. I remember last season we had a few cautions, which was in a brutally honest way caused by some stupid driving in some cases. I shouldn't say it, but it was true. So yeah, it's great to see that the field has stepped up their game in general, as we have cars peeling down into the pits. Oh, Matt Houston and Thomas Geisler going into the pits together there, side by side. Let's see who's going to win this pit battle. And like I was just saying, Matt Houston very patient. He knows where Thomas's pit stall is, so he lifts off a little bit to let his teammate go in front. So he has a clear pit box entrance. Same for Matt Houston, who's got the first pit box in line after qualifying on the pole. So Hugo Ackerson staying out for one more lap. As he comes down into the pits now, he's got to be careful to not speed. beautifully slows down for the 60 miles per hour speed limit, 97 kilometers per hour. As Oscar Fredriksson now takes the race lead. Now Oscar has been saving fuel behind all the cars. And really when you're following a car in the first place, you're already saving fuel, even if you're not saving, if that makes any sense. Because you have to lift off for the error push in the first place, and that saves some fuel. So Oscar Fredriksson allowed Oscar to stay out one more lap than everybody else, as Matthias Strauss now takes the lead as he stays out one more lap. Let's see if Matthias pits this lap, and then Thomas pits the next lap, and Sepp Kinder pits the next lap, and then Matthew Green pits the next lap. Let's wait and see what happens here with the pit strategy. But Matthew Green came home in 9th place last week, but he had a EUL penalty, which means you have to start from the back. End of line it stands for. And he didn't serve it, so the tough way the stewards work sometimes is that meant a DQ from the race, which took away valuable points from Matthew Green. So he's looking to bounce back from that here today, as Matthias Strauss, Thomas Jensen, Sepp Kinder and Matthew Green himself make their way down into the pits. Now we do have some cloud cover here on the track at the moment, and that means the track temperature has gone down a full degree Celsius. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a full degree Celsius. It will barely make a difference though, because the track is still smoking hot. So yeah, I'm sure the drivers have a handful in the dirty air. Currently the biggest mover in the race, Bart Verstein, driving in P11, a lap down. And Bart has been away for a few weeks, been on holidays, didn't really drive too much. So doing well to be about just outside the top 10, I have to say. Not just about in the top 10, he's just outside of it. So driving in P11. Although he is a lap down, still on for a solid finish. If you don't know how the point system works in the IndyCars and here in VOR, 50 points for the race winner, 40 for P2, 35 for P3, 32 for P4, 30 for P5, and then it goes down by 2 points until P10, which gets 20 points. Then it goes down 1 point per position until 25th, when everybody else that finishes takes 5 points. And I just noticed a very annoying typo there. There you go in the graphics. That looks kind of funny. Indianapolis, not IJ Indianapolis. So through pit cycles, Matt Houston takes the race lead from Thomas Geisler. And just as I say that, Thomas Geisler goes by Matt Houston for that race lead. As Matt Houston retakes the lead on the inside for turn 1, what they could be doing is try to slingshot by each other on each end of the racetrack to pull away from the car behind, which is Hugo Ackerson in this case. So there goes Thomas again into turn 3. Now this might not be as effective at the start of the stint like these guys are at right now, but towards the end of the stint when the dirty air kicks in, this strategy might just allow them to pull away and be in prime position for a race win, even a 1-2 perhaps. at the end, because if the tires go off, it will be more difficult for the cars to follow, and if you are working together and you know when to go by, or when you can go by, that will just be a huge advantage for those two cars. And it's already gone up to 4.5 tenths of a second. The difference. So yeah, like I said, that difference will only go up when Hugo's tires go off. Remember, he's also the third car in line, so he's got some dirty air to deal with. I think, Nicholas, you mean a POV, but sure, we can give you that, of Hugo Akesson on board. There he is. So he's lifting off big time. Trying to save fuel, and I'm trying to figure out when the last pit lap was again, because I don't remember from the top of my head. So Hugo last pitted on lap 52. Which is 28 laps away from the checkered flag. So I think with very minor saving, Hugo should be good to go to the end. And that's perhaps what Matt Houston and Thomas Geisler are also doing, saving fuel together to make it to the end of the race. And what they're also doing by slingshotting by is not allow Hugo at all to catch up and make a move into turns 1 or 3, which are the main overtaking places here, or the passing zones. You don't usually see a move in turns 2 or 4. Keyword there, usually. So assuming we are going to go green towards the end of this race, want to give a quick shout out to all the partners and sponsors and everybody involved here at VOR. Majors Garage is a setup shop, which we have a referral code for in the description of this stream. If you go to majorsgarage.com and make any setup purchases, use our referral link to help out both the league and Majors Garage. It gives us a nice amount of money to help run this league from. And of course you guys get the setups from Majors Garage. Apex Stage Coaching is a setup partner at some races this season. Not all of them. Next week will be though. And Isaac behind Apex Stage Coaching offers driving coaching. So go to the links in the description and check him out there. And of course we also got SLR, Slipstream League Racing on F1 2021. The official Formula 1 game on PC is an F1 league on Saturdays at 6:15 PM European time, just before we usually race. SLR currently off though due to some desync issues on the F1 game, making it pretty much unplayable for the online community. And I actually raced in it myself. I won at Monaco a few weeks ago. Just wanted to put that out there. No flex intended at all. But yeah, that community is ran by Matthew Green, who is currently in P10. As Thomas Jensen is in a battle as he spins around in turn 1, which brings out the caution for the second time here today. I just saw him lose some positions, and right when I did so and switched to him, he just went around there. So let's see what happened to him from the back. So on the inside, I think he just got on the concrete curbing-ish on the inside of the track in turn 1, which is a big no-no. You don't want to hit those, and that unsettled the car and meant he spun around. So let's see it from the onboard. Yep, gets on it. Hits the grass for good measure as well, and that completely loops his car around. No way in saving that. And And that all happened whilst he was racing Patrick Silvestri for position. I have to say Patrick left more than enough room though, so... Just a bit of a driver error there on Thomas Jensen's part. So Matt Houston leads from Thomas Geisler and Hugo Ankerson, the top 3. Now that we do have a caution, I'm expecting a few people to pit. But if that's going to happen or not, you will find out after the commercial break.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Stage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic week of Formula One racing here on SLR. We pride ourselves on delivering top on-track action such as overtakes.
Oh, Danny on the inside. Sorry, Danny on the inside.
And of course, where would we be without some crashes and drama?
Pace around this track.
Oh, and spinning is Canopis. That's Microlander up the inside. No, Danny.
And lots more. What started out as a fun idea quickly developed and grew into one of the most influential and recognizable online F1 leagues across the F1 platform. Every new season saw more and more big names join the roster, all battling harder and harder to claim the coveted SLR title. This season will be like no other before it. The strongest lineup we have ever seen. Old champions rejoining to battle the new top dogs of SLR. All of the tiers in SLR are fielding their respective strongest to date, with much to fight for and achieve. But if you have come to witness Titans battle Titans, well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Tier 1.
Alright, welcome back to Indianapolis, here for the Indianapolis 200. Had a few takers for pit road. In fact, everybody pitted, I do believe, on lap 66, as we have Bart Furstein staying out and coming into the pits again a lap later than everybody else. So everybody went into the pits and took fresh tires, which is probably the wise decision, as we will have a 13-lap shootout as we go green at the end of this lap. There you can see the lights on the pace car are out. So it is going to be a wild shootout towards the end of this race. It's Indianapolis. Not everybody, but I think quite a few people in this series know what Indy means. I'm going to give you guys about 5-10 seconds to think about what Indy means. If you don't know, I'll give you the answer later on anyway. Winning is the only thing that matters. That's what Indy means. So yeah, in case you couldn't tell, these guys will probably be going for the win, all or nothing. Which is how it should be. So of course later on tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern US time actually, it's when the broadcast goes up. 1:30 in the morning for the Europeans. Tonight, the main series at Indianapolis, a 300 miler instead of 200 here today for the Euro Series. So 300 miles, 120 laps. Live broadcasted on the Captain Esports Network. Go pay a visit to Chris Carlos' channel there. Again, the Captain Esports Network. And he will be going live at 1:30 in the morning European time, 7:30 for the Eastern US people for the start of that broadcast. Qualifying first up, 4-lap average speed, traditional for Indy. So yeah, go pay a visit to that channel, subscribe, and ring the bell on that one, and also on our channel, of course. So 13 laps to go. Matt Houston leads from Thomas Geisler, Hugo Ackerson, Oscar Fredriksson, and Joseph Rajalfa. We are back underway here at Indianapolis. The green flag is out right there. So here we go into turn 1 again. There's a nasty bump on the inside, by the way, which the drivers have been warned about. So everybody seemingly making it through okay again for the 3rd time here tonight. As Thomas Geisler goes for the outside right away on his teammate. And he is ahead going into turn 3. Matt Houston slots back in line behind his teammate, just in front of Hugo Ackerson, giving no chance for Hugo to get even a sniff of that position. This is now a 3-way dogfight for the race win. Matt Houston and Thomas Geisler doing well to box Hugo in there, giving him nowhere to go. And right now this will be a 1-2 mission for Raceverse, but also trying to get a win for one of their drivers, of course. They're both going for the individual results as well. Oh, Hugo pushes up, just misses the wall. That was so close. And Oscar Fredriksson bounces right away, goes to the inside, moves up into P3. Actually, let's not go that far just yet. Hugo gains some speed off the corner and gets back by Oscar again. As Matt Houston retakes the lead from Thomas Geisler on the inside. Oscar going to the outside now. Can he make this work? And now he's got the draft of the 2 cars in front. Not close enough to close the door there on Hugo. You can just see Oscar looking for the clean air below the white line, and he just has to check up a little bit there. As Matt Houston now goes back to the inside, takes the race lead back. After Thomas took it into turn 3. There he goes. And Hugo all the way up on the racetrack. And now Oscar gonna go high with a lot of overspeed, but Oscar gets out of the throttle there, so perhaps some aero wash on the side, on the front side of his front wing, as Hugo blinks out a little bit. And still Joseph Rajalfa in the top 5, doing great. Seb Kinder right behind him though for P5 this battle is for position. So we've got a battle for 1st, 3rd, 5th, and actually also 7th. Between Strauss and Jensen, so Seb has a look, but Oscar just up ahead, slides in front of Seb as Joseph brushes the wall. That was close. I think it's fine though, but you don't want to do that too often, as Joseph is on a mission to get by Oscar here for P4. Good point, Lily. What happened to Patrick so fast? Let's find out. Actually, let's wait for a second. Joseph Rajalfa goes by Oscar Fredriksson after he made a mistake. So Joseph moves up into P4. Now, as crazy as this sounds, and I do know what Indy means myself, but right now, if I'm Oscar, I'm just going to try to protect P5 for the championship. With 8 laps to go, it's not very likely that he can challenge for the race win, so he's just going to try to protect the result that he already has, which is P5 at the moment. But Seb Kinder to the outside now. As Hugo, Thomas Jensen is having a look as well, but Oscar closes the door on him there. But Seb Kinder on the outside gets by Oscar, so Oscar drops down to P6, and I'm not sure what happened to Oscar, but he seems to be very slow and off the pace, so maybe some damage if he hit the wall at some point. But going back to this battle now, we're going to stay here until the end of the race, unless an incident happens, of course, then we'll get a replay from that. But generally speaking, this should be the race for the win until the end. But yeah, I'm not really sure what happened to Patrick. As Thomas and Matt keep trading positions. Now this could have been the move for the win already. Thomas moves up in front of Matt there in turn 2. And now down the back straightaway into turn 3. He is pretty much 2 car lengths in front of his teammate. And now the dirty air will be kicking in for Matt. So he will be trying to get some clean air on the front wing. Right there you saw it, moving to the outside there. Now the interesting thing with this IndyCar, by the way, is, I should have mentioned this earlier, as Matt goes to the inside line. If you get even half a front wing of clean air, the front wing works to its full extent. So if you get, for example, the left side only, with the right side in the dirty air, the front wing functions normally, which is kind of crazy, but it does. And it gives you the full downforce. And it also works the other way around. So that's why it's so important to look for that clean air. To try and get by the car in front. Or of course hold them up to try and block that run. And give them dirty air on purpose, which is quite common in this community actually. We do that sometimes, to just give the car behind some dirty air, which is of course perfectly legal, but nobody really appreciates that, taking all the air off the front wing in some of those cases. Actually all of them. I need to say it right if I'm informing some people. So yeah, 4 laps to go. Coming up to 3 laps to go, 7.5 miles. And Matt Houston leads at home. Matt Houston is from Indianapolis. So 7.5 miles to go for the 2 race first cars. And it's looking likely it's going to be a 1-2. And they will take over the Team Championship standings lead once again, after losing it to Team VOR last week. Matthew Green moves up into P8. Matthias Strauss is slowing down. He is dropping significant amounts of lap time into P9 now already. And I think he will be safe from Patrick Silvassi, who is 30 seconds back. So out of turn 4, the white flag will be out for Matt Houston. 1 more lap to go. 2.5 miles. And Matt Houston on track for a win at home. And I'm sure despite this being the Euro Series, of course the main series is the top priority for the drivers like Matt Houston, Thomas Geisler, Joseph Rajalfa, Sepp Kinder, Oscar Fredriksson. He will be still delighted with this win, I assume. So going into turn 4. Perfectly executed teamwork with his teammate Thomas Geisler. Matt Houston from Indianapolis, Indiana goes to victory lane at the Indianapolis 200. He wins after 80 laps here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is a 1-2 for Team Race First with Sunset Arctic Games. Hugo Ackerson comes home in P3 after a challenging evening for him, with the Race First boys blocking the clean air for him there, so that didn't really allow Hugo any chance to close that gap. So perfectly executed race from the Race First boys, and Hugo makes up some ground in the championship standings as well. As Matt Houston of course winning, so he takes a few points away from Oscar. Now I'm gonna try to get the standings done for myself here as we go to the commercial break in just a moment to get ready for the interviews, but first Matt Houston's victory celebrations. He's got to be sure though to not do the donuts on the yard of brakes. Parks his car on the yard of brakes. That's also a perfect celebration. Probably just getting the picture. Now he's gonna rev up the car. Maybe do some donuts. Yes, he is. There you go. You can see Thomas Geisler doing donuts too, as well as Hugo Akesson, and Matt Houston actually making contact there with Akesson there. But congratulations, Matt, on the win. Thomas P2 and Hugo Akesson P3. It's time for your race results here today. And of course, it still shows in Grand Prix of Indianapolis. I'm a great broadcaster here. Anyways, in the Indianapolis 200, not the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, the Indianapolis 200. Matt Houston wins for Sunset Arctic Games with Team Raceverse. With Sunset Arctic Games, I'm getting hyped up myself here already. Half a second ahead of his teammate Thomas Geisler. Hugo Akesson rounds off the podium for Falcon Esports. On the graphic it says, but he's actually part of the Platinum Racing Team Blue in the league. Joseph Rajalva for GP Evolution finishes P4. Seb Kinder P5 for Team Watson Racing. Oscar Fredrickson brings home P6. Not the best of races for him, but I'm sure he'll take the points any day of the week, considering the day he's had. Thomas Jensen finishes P7 for the Platinum Racing Team Red. Matthew Green finishes P8 after getting disqualified last week, so a great finish for Matthew Green. He makes up some points as well on the guys in the championship standings that are just there in front of him. Matthias Strauss and Patrick Silvestri round off your top 10. So Bart Verstein, Lewis Woodall, Daniel Cofield, Torre Majid, Pino Krijeveld and Sven Max are all the cars that finished a lap down or more. And Bart Verstein being the final runner of those cars. So those are your race results. I'm gonna sweat SimRacer Hub to get the standings done. In the meantime, you guys can enjoy a commercial break and we'll be right back for the driver interviews.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic week of Formula One racing here on SLR. We pride ourselves on delivering top on-track action such as overtakes.
Oh, Danny on the inside. Sorry, Danny on the inside.
And of course, where would we be without some crashes and drama?
Pace around this track.
Oh, and spinning is Canopis. That's his Microlander at the inside. No, Danny.
And lots more. What started out as a fun idea quickly developed and grew into one of the most influential and recognizable online F1 leagues across the F1 platform. Every new season saw more and more big names join the roster, all battling harder and harder to claim the coveted SLR title. This season will be like no other before it. The strongest lineup we have ever seen. Old champions rejoining to battle the new top dogs of SLR. All of the tiers in SLR are fielding their respective strongest to date, with much to fight for and achieve. But if you have come to witness Titans battle Titans, well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Tier 1.
Alright, we are back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Victory Lane / podium interview. So we'll start with the podium first. Let's bring in Hugo Akesson.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting you there, Hugo. welcome once again to the podium. Solid race for you today. Just quickly tell us about it.
So first stint was pretty good. Then as soon as, because I was running in clean air pretty much the whole race until second stint. And as soon as I got into dirty air, I just had no experience in it, so I struggled really bad. And then I found out I could still go flat out on the outside. Mm-hmm. Then I was just about to overtake Thomas, and then the pace car came out.
Yeah, that's so that was,
well, but it was good fun.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like you had some fun out there, racing up there with the race first boys towards the end as well. They didn't really allow you through at all, did they?
Yeah, I actually banged the wall pretty hard.
Really?
Yeah, with like 15 laps to go, I banged the wall pretty hard.
Okay, well that explains some of that speed difference between you and the race first cars then, but still very...
I'm surprised I was even on the podium with that bang.
Well, that just shows that, the dirty air is a big factor around this place, but you still did really well to get away with the podium. I'm not sure where this actually puts you in the championship standings just yet, before I go to championship standings myself, which I just updated. But yeah, I will mention it on the stream because I can't really get it up right now, but still, congratulations on the podium. Before I let you go, any people or sponsors or teammates or whatever you want to shout out to?
PRT, Marnix, and our sponsor, Wolsom.
Alright, perfect. So go out and celebrate that P3, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Road Atlanta.
Thank you.
Right, that was Hugo Akesson finishing in the 3rd position here today. It's time to bring in Thomas Geisler now.
Hello.
Hey Thomas, how are you doing, man?
Hi, I'm doing fine. It was a great race. So I'm really happy.
Well, so you should be. It's a 1-2 for your team. Didn't quite have enough to beat Matt there at the end, but still a great result from you and Matt as well. But just quickly talk us about your race, how it went.
Yeah, it went perfect. The yellows came right in the right time. The first yellow, of course, for being for changing tires. It was in the pit window, right in the pit window. And the second yellow, I was a bit lucky because Hugo was catching up, and I think he would have passed me a few seconds later. So everything was fine. And after that, I could work together with Matt a bit. But Matt was just faster today. I gave everything I could, and we really couldn't swap back and forth. But in the end, we managed to keep the distance to Hugo. He was really strong today, I have to say, and it was really fun, especially in the beginning when we had very close racing, but the connection was really good. So we could fight very closely together. It was great fun.
Yeah, so it was great to watch as well from the outside, that three-way battle there for the biggest part of the race. But you talked about swapping around with Matt. Was that purely based on to try and get a gap to the cars behind, or were you guys trying to save fuel, or what was the thought behind that?
Yeah, the reason was to manage the gap to Hugo or the guys behind, and that was the reason. But it didn't really work out. Somehow the tires felt not really well. I had the feeling I had a good setup, but not quite the best one. But I have to figure it out maybe later in the evening.
Yeah, you got a race tonight coming up as well, so you got to get some extra practice in. But still, awesome performance by you here tonight, and you actually move into P4 in the championship standings, moving up 2 positions there. So doing good. Before I let you go, any shout-outs to any people or sponsors?
Yes, of course, shout-outs to Raceverse and Matt. It's always nice to be in the team and doing the race together. And, of course, Dakota, Sunset Arctic Games, and Sunset Arctic Graphics. I'm still very happy with my livery, and he's doing a great job on that. And again, all shout-outs to all the drivers who made it a good race today.
All right, perfect. Thank you. And I have to say, by the way, your livery still looks good in the pictures as well.
Yeah, and of course, thanks to you for broadcasting and spending all the time with it.
Well, it's a huge
Thank
pleasure
you.
to do this for you guys. So thank you for being a part of it. Anyways, I'm gonna go talk to Matt now. You go out and celebrate P2, but don't celebrate too much because you still got a 300 miler coming up.
Yeah, it's I'm not doing too much, I hope.
All
Okay,
right.
see you later.
Yeah, see you tonight, man.
See you.
So that was Thomas Geisler. Let's bring in Matt Houston now, race winner at Indianapolis. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Julian. Well, this feels really good. Get the pole, get the win. Didn't get the most laps led, but I'll take it.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm going to talk about your race in just a second, but I think this is the most important thing. You move in a few points on Oscar in the championship standings. The gap is now 29 points from 52, I do believe it was, going into this race. So this race, though not double points, still doing a very good job in making up some ground in the championship standings. So just tell us a little bit about your thought process going into this race with maybe that in mind.
Yeah, well, the points-wise, I don't think I'll have much for Oscar with the rest of the season. I mean, I guess the final race is at Auto Club, right?
Yes, it is.
So, but on the road courses, Oscar's got me these days. I might have beat him once, but these days, unless he makes a mistake or something, I think he's got me covered on those road courses. But a great race here today. Getting the pole is really important. Honestly, I was kind of surprised. I was the only one in the 39.5s in qualifying. I was surprised to be that far ahead. At the start of the race on lap 1, I don't know if you caught it, but me and Hugo, it was kind of my mistake. I kind of got loose coming out of turn 2, and we almost crashed. We hit each other, but all was good. And then I was stuck behind. I was stuck in third. It all came down to that final pit stop, and I don't know if you caught that, but we were really hot into the pits, me and Thomas, my teammate, and that undercut really helped that, like 1 or 2 laps that we were ahead of Hugo, and that put me back in the lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember you getting loose out of turn 1, so I probably missed that, but I did see you guys very close in the pits together. It was a great race for your team overall. You guys take the team championship lead as well. So just a great night for you both. And of course, you winning Indy. Just, what are you expecting for Road Atlanta? It's going to be a bit different than what you might be used to. It's going to be an evening race. Have you ever done any night racing or evening races on a road course?
Yeah, let me think here. Some league that shall not be named ran Charlotte Roval once in the night.
I know exactly what you mean. Okay, yes.
There was another league. So the RIL, Revolution Indy League, they did a test race, like a preseason race at Homestead Roval at night. There were lights on the oval, but not on the road course. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that too much. But honestly, whether it's day or night at Road Atlanta, it's a good track, but it's not one of my best.
Well, it's very flowy for sure, so it's going to look great on the broadcast watching all the cars fly through those S's. But anyways, want to congratulate you again on the race win and the 1-2 for your team as well. Before I let you go and celebrate, though not too much, anybody you want to thank out there?
Well, I have to thank Thomas for sure. We raced really clean. I did get loose many times during this race and almost crashed on my own several times, but so I was pretty conservative with him. Really happy about that. Of course, got to thank my wife. She puts up with me doing these things, multiple times a week. I've got to thank Dakota at Sunset Arctic Games. And of course, you broadcasting here and running the series, doing a good job there, both here and in the North American series. I hope the luck here tonight, or today in the race, tonight for you, but results in something good for the team come tonight in the big race with 120 laps. But yeah, really good race by everybody here in the top 5.
Perfect. Thank you as well for being a part of this. It's great to have you. But yeah, I'll speak to you later, man. Go out and celebrate, and see you tonight, man.
Thanks, Julian.
Right, that was Matt Houston, and he did bring it up. I'm going to do it again. The main series, the North American side of things, it's kind of got 2 names, but the big race, as Matt referred to it as, 120 laps, 300 miles on the Captain Esports network in about 3.5 hours from now. It's 10 p.m. in Europe now. So, yeah, that race coming up tonight. The big race with all the big names in VOR racing. Side by side, just as excitingly as this one was. So if you're interested in watching that, make sure to stick around and stay up if you're in Europe, because it's going to be a long, long evening and even a long night. So yeah, tune in to Captain Esports Network at 1:30 a.m. Central European Summer Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern US Time. Next week for the VOR IndyCar Euro Series, we are going to Road Atlanta. So yeah, of course I want to thank all the sponsors as well. Majors Garage, Apex Age Coaching, and Slipstream League Racing for being a part of this community and helping us keep it running. So, as said, Road Atlanta up next. See you all then, and have a good evening.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Age Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at ApexAgeCoach.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic week of Formula One racing here on SLR. We pride ourselves on delivering top on-track action such as overtakes.
Oh, Danny on the inside. Sorry, Danny on the inside.
And of course, where would we be without some crashes and drama?
Pace around this track.
Oh, and spinning is Canopus. That's his Microlander up the inside. No, Danny.
And lots more. What started out as a fun idea quickly developed and grew into one of the most influential and recognizable online F1 leagues across the F1 platform. Every new season saw more and more big names join the roster, all battling harder and harder to claim the coveted SLR title. This season will be like no other before it, the strongest lineup we have ever seen. Old champions rejoining to battle the new top dogs of SLR. All of the tiers in SLR are fielding their respective strongest to date, with much to fight for and achieve. But if you have come to witness Titans battle Titans, well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Tier 1.